This video tutorial will focus on continuing and editing a prior session. The first step toward editing a prior session is to load said session. To do this, first click Pull from the Launchpad, which will bring up the show bar. From the show bar, click on the drop-down arrow, followed by Session and Continue Prior Session. You will now be prompted to select the session that you wish to continue. Navigate through your computer's folders or flash drive and select the session that you want to continue and click Open. Your session has now been loaded and you're returned to the show bar. To edit the session you just loaded, select the drop-down arrow once again, followed by Session and Session Viewer. The Session Viewer window should now be open, which contains a Questions button and a Participants button. We'll start with Questions. Simply select the question that you wish to edit by clicking on it in the left-hand side of the window. The rest of the window should now display the question itself in a text box, the answer choices, and question properties, which displays the correct and incorrect values. You have a multitude of options when it comes to editing the question, ranging from changing the question itself, marking answers correct or incorrect, to changing the point values for said question. Briefly note that the camera-looking button to the left of the questions displays a screenshot of what was on the computer screen at the time the question was answered. The three different colored bars to the left of the camera button displays the graph for that question. These tools can be used to help you in numerous ways, whether it be discussing a question with students or for your own personal benefit. When you are finished editing your questions, click the Participants button to view your students' responses for that session. Under the Participants tab, assuming you properly loaded a participants list for this session, you will see the students enrolled in your class along with their respective device IDs. In this tab, you can select individual students to review their responses for that session. This is a useful tool to discuss grades of students or to double-check point totals. If you click the Participants button and notice that all columns but the device ID column are empty, then you most likely forgot to load a participant list at the beginning of your class period. Fortunately, there's a way to solve this issue. Exit out of the session viewer and select the drop-down arrow, followed by Participants, Load Participant List, and Browse. A window should now pop up which allows you to navigate to the participant list you wish to load. Select the participant list file and click Open. Return to the session viewer as you have just learned and click on the Participants button once more. You should now see all of the columns filled with their students' first and last names as well as their Blackboard identities. To save your now edited session, close out of the session viewer, which will bring you back to the show bar. Select the drop-down arrow followed by Session and then Save Session. Navigate to a folder of your choosing and save the session. We strongly recommend giving your edited session the same file title as the original, but include some sort of indicator that will help you differentiate between the original and edited file. Ultimately, when exporting the session to Blackboard, you will choose to upload the edited session rather than the original. Finally, click Save. This concludes the continuing and editing a session tutorial.